Hello everyone, we are Lucian and Jack.
Welcome to our YouTube channel where we share our real married life. Don't forget to subscribe to support us.
Hello everyone, dear friends of the channel. Some phone calls bring more than just sound. They drag with them an inescapable nightmare. They are the calls where simply seeing the screen light up in the dead of night makes your heart race, a premonition that your peace has just been torn apart. At 2:17 a.m., while the city was still submerged in deep sleep and the deserted streets were lit only by flickering yellow lamps, CEO Jack's phone vibrated again. It wasn't a piercing ring, but a soft vibration, yet it was enough to jolt him awake from his exhaustion. The screen glowed in the dark, reflecting Jack's haggard face, worn down by many sleepless nights. A familiar sequence of numbers appeared, so familiar it sent a chill down his spine. It was the number that had haunted him for days, the number belonging to those who had snatched Ly Tu Tien from his life. Before the story truly begins, if you love tales of family love, of fragile moments between hope and despair, and of people pushed to the ultimate edge of choice, then this channel is for you. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any episodes. Your support is our greatest motivation to continue this journey of telling stories that touch the heart. Now, let us begin. It wasn't the first call. Ever since Ly Tu Tien went missing on her last trip, Jack had forgotten the meaning of a full night's sleep. He lived in a strange state of waiting, half desperate, half hopeful. Every time the phone vibrated, his heart tightened. Every time the silence stretched, his fear grew a little more. But this time was different. The moment he pressed the phone to his ear, Jack knew everything had entered a new phase, a phase with no room for hesitation. The voice on the other end was hoarse, intentionally distorted, cold, and offered him no chance for negotiation. If you want her to live, prepare the money, the exact amount we demanded. And remember, don't be foolish enough to call the police. No wasted words, no emotion, only a command. The call ended abruptly, leaving nothing in Jack's ear but a long, indifferent beep, beep, echoing like a knife cutting deep into his mind. Jack sat motionless for a long time on the edge of the bed. His hand gripped the phone so tight his knuckles turned white. In his head, there was only one single thought, repeating like a prayer. Tu Tien is still alive. But he also understood that every passing minute now could be the boundary between life and death. In a completely different place, far from the city lights, Tu Tien woke up in a daze. Her head throbbed as if struck by a heavy object. The surrounding space was dim and damp. The smell of mold and rusted metal hit her throat, making her want to cough violently. Her wrists stung from being tied too tightly. The coarse rope chafed her skin. Every small movement made her wince. Her legs were numb from being bound for so long. In the first moment, Tu Tien panicked, thinking she was being held alone, abandoned in the infinite darkness. A thick silence enveloped the room. There was only the sound of her heart pounding in her chest, so loud she feared the kidnappers might hear it. But then, as Tu Tien held her breath to listen, a very faint sound emerged. Not the wind, not insects. It was the sound of breathing, and it wasn't hers. Tu Tien turned her head toward the corner of the room where the weak yellow light could not reach. Behind an old, torn curtain, a figure sat huddled with their back against the wall. She swallowed hard, gathering all her courage to call out softly, her voice trembling with fear. The person startled, seemingly just as panicked. As the woman slowly raised her head and the dim light hit her heartbreakingly familiar face, Tu Tien felt as if her heart had dropped into an abyss. It was her former mother-in-law. A flood of old memories rushed back, days full of pain, cold stares, and bitter reproaches. The woman who once believed Tu Tien was the reason her family fell apart. The person who had shielded a debt-ridden, alcoholic, and abusive son. Tu Tien couldn't understand what was happening. Was her presence here a coincidence or part of this kidnapping plot? She wanted to ask, to scream, to confront her. But the woman's evasive gaze, trembling hands, and gaunt frame left Tu Tien speechless. The silence between them was so heavy as if the air had frozen. Meanwhile, outside, Jack began tracing the smallest clues. He contacted local authorities to screen individuals with prior criminal records in the area. A suspect's name surfaced: Tien, Tu Tien's ex-husband, a man burdened with debt, a frequent drunk who had repeatedly abused his ex-wife, and who had disappeared without a trace just before that fateful trip. Jack realized this wasn't a random kidnapping. This was the desperate act of a man pushed to the brink, ready to drag everyone down into the abyss with him. Back in the dark cell, the former mother-in-law finally burst into tears. She confessed through choked sobs that she had been used. Her son had come to her in desperation, begging her to help him make contact, promising to pay off his debts and start over. And like many mothers, she chose to believe, or rather, she wanted to believe. She didn't kidnap her directly, but her blind maternal love had inadvertently aided the crime. As night fell, the atmosphere became even more suffocating. The mother-in-law collapsed on her knees before Tu Tien, tears falling uncontrollably. She apologized, saying that if she could trade her life for Tu Tien's, she would do so willingly. It was a moment of moral awakening, but it came too late. Tu Tien looked at the woman for a long time. She didn't cry, nor did she blame her. Her voice was hoarse from exhaustion and fear, yet still clear. She said she didn't hate anyone. She only prayed for one thing: to live. At the same time, Jack narrowed the first holding location from the call data. He didn't hesitate. The car raced through the night, carrying all his remaining hope. But when his team stormed the location, it was empty. Only cold walls and traces of a hurried relocation remained. The kidnappers had moved Tu Tien elsewhere, faster than Jack had imagined. On the way to the new location, in the midst of her most desperate moments, Tu Tien noticed the kidnappers starting to let their guard down. In a split second, she silently unwrapped the scarf she usually wore on her head and stealthily dropped it in a hidden corner, a fragile message sent into the darkness. When Jack returned to re-examine the old scene, his flashlight suddenly stopped. In the cold corner of the wall, the familiar scarf dimly appeared. His heart tightened. It was a sign from Tu Tien. She was still alive, and she was doing everything she could not to disappear in silence. Jack picked up the scarf, his hand clenching it tight, as a silent vow rose within him. This time, he would not let her disappear again. The real pursuit has only just begun. Behind this kidnapping lie secrets yet to be unfolded, ruthless choices, and the price that every person involved will have to pay. If you have followed the story until this moment, don't forget to subscribe to the Ly Tu Tien channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next developments. Leave a comment below, because who knows, your own speculation might be the missing piece of the story as it moves towards its most intense climax.
Không khí căng thẳng, ám ảnh từ những cuộc điện thoại trong đêm, điềm báo của bi kịch và tuyệt vọng. Lúc 2 giờ 17 sáng, CEO Jack nhận cuộc gọi từ bọn bắt cóc Ly Tu Tien, yêu cầu tiền chuộc và chúng đe dọa không được báo cảnh sát. Jack rơi vào trạng thái tuyệt vọng, nhưng vẫn bám víu vào một điểm tin duy nhất: Tử Tiên còn sống. Ở nơi giam giữ, Tử Tiên tỉnh dậy trong căn phòng tối, bị trói, hoảng loạn và đau đớn cả thể xác lẫn tinh thần. Cô phát hiện mình không bị giam ở đây một mình mà ở chung với mẹ chồng cũ, một sự thật gây sốc và đầy mâu thuẫn cảm xúc. Người mẹ chồng cũ thú nhận rằng đã bị con trai Chiến, chồng cũ của Tử Tiên, lợi dụng tình mẫu tử, vô tình tiếp tay trong vụ bắt cóc. Jack lần theo manh mối, xác định Chiến là nghi phạm chính, kẻ nợ nần bạo lực và đang ở bước đường cùng. Trong căn phòng giam, người mẹ chồng cũ ăn năn quỳ gối xin Ly Tu Tien trong tuyệt vọng. Tử Tiên chỉ cầu xin được sống. Jack xác định được địa điểm giam giữ đầu tiên, nhưng khi đến nơi thì đã quá muộn. Bọn bắt cóc đã chuyển Tử Tiên đi. Trên đường bị áp giải, Tử Tiên lén để lại chiếc khăn làm ám chỉ cầu cứu. Jack tìm thấy chiếc khăn, nhận ra Tử Tiên vẫn còn sống và đang cố gắng gửi tín hiệu. Cuộc truy đuổi thực sự bắt đầu, hé lộ rằng phía sau vụ bắt cóc còn nhiều bí mật, âm mưu và cái giá phải trả rất khắc nghiệt đang chờ đợi những người liên quan. Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi hết tập phim này. Nếu các bạn thấy hay, hãy like, chia sẻ, đăng ký kênh và thông báo để không bỏ lỡ bất cứ tập phim nào của kênh Ly Tu Tien Story. Hẹn gặp lại trong các tập tiếp theo. Bye bye!